Welcome to this episode of the Nairn County Podcast, which is brought to you in association with our two digital partners, Ziyen Energy and Top Car. So it's Ian Finlayson for the Nairn County Podcast, setting up here at a sunny station park in the early days of September with my friend Mr. Ali Nichol. Hello Ali, how are you doing, mate?
I'm fine, Ian. How are you?
I'm not bad at all.
Good.
Not bad at all. I'm glad you could join us, Ali.
Good to be here.
So it's been an eventful few weeks, hasn't it, in terms of sponsorships and all the things that are going on at the club. But why I wanted to talk to you for the podcast, Ali, there's some big news with regard to a new initiative that we've started. What's up? Tell us a bit more about it.
Yes, Ian. It's the new initiative is basically Nairn County Football Club Club 1914, which is a membership scheme for our supporters from Nairn and afar. Basically, what it is our supporters put in a designated amount of money per month. That money is then reinvested back into the club, into the infrastructure of the club. And one of the new thing to it is there's the additional, basically the fans get something back from it as well. Okay. So it's I think it's an exciting new adventure for the club to go down, and so far it's been good.
It absolutely is, and I know you've been the creative genius that's pushed this for us, so we're delighted you're able to do that. Tell us, so it's called Club 1914, for those who are not steeped in Nairn County history like you and I and our fan base. Why 1914, first of all?
Because that's the club's formation, effectively our first season in the Highland League, so hence why the obviously the title, so thought it was an appropriate title for the club.
So we've got the outline of it. Who can join?
Anybody can join. Anybody can join. You know, it's open to anyone and everyone.
So it's not just people who can come to matches. It's
anyone in the world. You know, I know that Donald Graham has got an affiliation with some supporters over in America. Yes. You know, and I've seen that the
North Carolina folks.
Yes. So anybody from anywhere in the world can join this scheme, and it's as I say, it's designed for that very own purpose, so anybody can join it. So,
and it's not a particularly expensive amounts in the grand scheme of things, is it? I know it's a difficult time for people at the moment anyway, but this is not about putting hundreds of pounds into the club in one go, is it?
Yes. So basically, there's different payment methods that you can pay. It's all done via an app. It's all secure. The minimum payment is £10 a month, but you can also pay £19.14.
Nice.
Per month. I thought we'd add that one
Nice.
in as opposed to, and there's also other options as well. But at the end of the day, it's designed for what the supporter would like to contribute towards the club within their own means. So the £10 donation is every bit as welcome as a £25 donation or the £19.14 donation. It all adds up at the end of the day towards helping the club. Through this particularly in these times that we're living in at the moment, we've never really seen anything like this before. So any revenue that the club are going to make from this is obviously going to be more than welcome.
It certainly makes a huge difference, doesn't it? And again, it's our community, not just the local community, but the community of Nairn County fans supporting the club. It's amazing. So that's the sort of financial side, the input. Let's get to the crux of the matter, Mr. Nichol.
Mm-hmm.
What do you get?
What do you get? Okay. You get 20% off of the club's merchandise. There's going to be a particular 1914 range, which will be only available for our 1914 customer base. So there'll be specific lines. So what the idea is when you raise, when you actually spend a certain amount of money, that will then enable you into getting, for example, the first thing that you can get from that is a pin badge on your county. It'll be a 1914, as I say, specific badge. And then from then on in, we're looking at hats, scarves, and there is another particular line where you can get your name on an Nairn County jersey, which will be it'll be a limited edition, and that'll be for the first 50 customers that contribute £500 towards the fund. And from that, we're hoping to add new initiatives to that as well as we go on. A few other different ideas that we've got in mind.
I love the fact because I signed up
yes, you did.
I thought I should have. It's good that you know that. That's good.
I did, yes.
But I love the fact that you get news of what's happening at the club. Just a little heads up before it goes out on our main social media.
Well,
that was great.
We launched this just Tuesday past there, so it's, I think just over a week now.
Yes.
And Graham McLeod, who's done a great amount of work with this, I've obviously put the initial idea there, and Graham pinged out an email just off the back of, I think it was just a couple of days ago, I think it was, the first one that was sent out. And then obviously I went via the social media channels thereafter.
Yes, that's it.
But in 1914, obviously customers got that information first, so it was
nice just to get a little heads up.
Yeah, so that's it. And as of today, there's been further communications from the club in terms of, so everybody who joins will have a specific number. That number will be used for example, if we get pre-season games, our fans will get in free for the pre-season games, assuming that we're allowed to do so, obviously, under the COVID regulations that we're up against at the moment. Plus also for club merchandise, you would need that number for that as well, so enable you to get your 20% off.
Yeah, and I know I was talking to Donald Graham just a couple of weeks ago about the range of stuff available and merchandising these days. So it's great to get a discount on that side of things.
Yeah, that's it. And as you mentioned, the communication side of things is a great thing as well. We're obviously looking at, it continues to do the podcast for the club. So I think
they're great.
Yeah, you did a great job of that, Ian. I've got to give you credit where credit's due. You don't get enough credit, mate, for what you do. So fair play. But yeah, I mean, there's we were talking about doing that first. So we're the podcast we're going out. The subscribers will get that, they get to the chance to hear that first. So this is just a start. I think this will as it grows, it will evolve. And there'll be other benefits that will be added to it as well. And the whole idea, my thinking behind it was, we've had the fans fund for a period of time now, and we've had over 30 people contribute towards that on a monthly basis. So what we have done with that is the people who have already contributed, they've been moved across to the club 1914 membership. So effectively, what we're doing is we're consolidating that into the one main membership scheme. So with the guys who are currently paying their £10 or whatever it is they're paying per month, they'll be added directly onto the scheme, and from that, then their contributions will be added, obviously, onto the 1914. Yeah. So they'll, in some cases, some people will be due a benefit. Their pin badge is the first thing. So it's been carried over. So we thank them for what they've done in the past via the Fans Fund. That's not going unnoticed, and it's certainly one thing we would, obviously like to carry on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lifeline at times, the Fans Fund, and I echo exactly what you said, how important it was for the club.
Yeah.
And will be going forward as well, but it's so important that we now are able to give a little something back to these people who have supported it.
And that's what effectively this is, so the one other thing I would say is if any of the fans have got some suggestions about additional benefits that the club could potentially look at, we'd love to hear from them. You know, and if it's something feasible that we could put into place, well, you know, let's get the feedback. You know, they could give that via, you know, any committee member, or if they want to send me a private message or whatever. Yeah, I'd be delighted to hear from the fans in terms of what they would like to get from the scheme itself. So it's not just about what we're putting into place. Have to make it, you know, known that it's we would like to hear from them. I think so. I mean, as I say, it was only a week ago that we you know, incredible. You know, I just checking my emails when I came in this morning, and we've got a chap from Bedford. Who signed up, you know, so it proves that the message is getting out there, you know. So it doesn't, as we mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you would like to help the club, you'll get a means to doing that. So we would welcome any new, you know, members on board.
Absolutely. And so I guess the final question around the 1914 initiative. You're getting my £10, you're getting my 1914, you're getting my 25 quid. What's the club doing with this money? Is it all going to our secret offshore fund so I can retire in luxury?
Unfortunately not, Ian.
Damn.
Sorry, I'm sorry to dash your hopes there. Well, as you know, Ian, the club, it's not just the first team.
Yes.
Obviously, the first team is the main team, and is the obviously, you know, at the end of the day, that's where our fans come every second Saturday. We'd like to think that that'd be the case. Every second Saturday, we would have football back on again. Yep. We don't know obviously if, you know, what the situation is with the football, but we also have all our youth teams as well to look after. So that costs money. So. And obviously the day-to-day running things of the club as well costs money, and you know, we all aspire for the club to be the best it can be, and I think with what we have as a youth setup, it's fantastic.
And it's paying dividends. You can see
that absolutely. And, you know, one of the podcasts, one of the interviews I done, I think it was about this time last year with Des Scholes and Donald Wilson. We were talking about. Because at that point, you know, we were obviously the youth side of things was growing, and it's fantastic to see all the different age groups from academy level going all the way up to obviously we've now got the team in the North Caledonian League as well. So we've got a really good platform there to grow the club. We get the ethics right from the youth all the way up to the first team. And I think it's an exciting future for the club. So I think the money could be sort of spent in those areas, because as I say, it doesn't. It's not cheap to run that side of the club, and day-to-day running the side of the club. And then obviously in the day we want the first team to be as good as it can be. So we're hoping obviously the youth will supplement that. But if there's a player or two to be had, hopefully, you know, some of this money could potentially be used for. Like said last season, we brought in Scott Davidson from Brora, and that made him a fantastic. What an impression he made at the club straight away. So it just shows, you know. But it's
absolutely right. Scotty got that in. Callum Howard came in just a few weeks ago there.
Yeah.
But we've also got just as you were saying, from the youth side. Lewis Mitchell, Keelan Young coming up from what's now the reserve team. So there's progression there, but the ability to go and get players as well, which is, I guess, is what people's all about.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think if you get the right mix with youth and experience, you know, as you said, bringing Callum in from Forest was a great move. You know, that'll certainly strengthen our back four. Good left-sided player. So. Let's hopefully. We finished the season strongly. Unfortunately, we obviously curtailed early doors.
Who knows what could have happened?
You know, who knows in that last sort of, how many games do we have left to play? Was it 8 games or something?
Yeah.
Would it be 8 games left to play? And I think if memory serves me right, I think the majority of the games were teams below us as well. So, although I think we finished 7th in the league as it went, because it went on a game by game basis, didn't it? At the end. So there's. I think Ronnie has done a fantastic job pulling the players that he has together. So hopefully all goes well for the new season. If and when.
That's what I was going to, because I like to draw these podcasts to a close by talking about what we're all interested in, that's the football side.
Yeah.
Now, as you know, in the last few weeks it's been announced it's a curtailed season this year. It's 16 games.
Yeah.
You play everybody once.
Yes.
And now, Alec, you're a former county veteran, a county player. You know what it's like to be playing on Station Park. What's your feeling for the new season? What do you think?
Well, the thing about it is, if you get off to a good start, you win your first few games. You know that in itself will breed confidence.
Yeah.
And then we could go. When we had the last season, for example, we had quite a good record against the teams in the top half of the league.
Yes,
you know, so we obviously don't know where the fixtures are, how it's going to start. Probably in a away match.
For the benefit of the tape, I'm saying nothing about that comment.
That said, I mean, I think the league is going to be Broder probably start off as favourites, and naturally so, because they've got a fantastic
They
side.
were excellent last season. I mean, we beat them here. Did I mention that?
We did,
But
yeah.
under the reverse game, it was like the Harlem Globetrotters. We didn't get the ball off them. They're an excellent team.
Yeah.
And there's a few teams like that in the league.
But as I say, with the reduced amount of games, I think it certainly leaves things a lot more open. You know, so effectively it's half a season, isn't it? So get off to a good start, and well, who knows where it can take you. So
Sky's the limit, eh?
Absolutely, yeah. But if we start off the way we finished last season, I think we'll have a really good season, and here's hoping.
Absolutely. Ali, it's always a pleasure, mate. Thank you for chatting to us again, and we'll talk to you again when the season's underway and we're playing football.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Ian. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us on this latest episode of the Nairn County Podcast. It's been brought to you in association with our two digital partners, Ziyen Energy and Top Car. We'll be back very soon to talk all things Nairn County, and we look forward to joining you then.